Look at this verse, Psalm 63 verse 1. Oh God, you are what? My God. Early will I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there's no water. He said, this is a dry and thirsty land. But do you know what it makes, what it causes me to do? The man didn't say, I want to drill a borehole. He says, my physical thirst ignited my spiritual thirst. Sometimes some of us are too hungry to pray. We are too poor to pray. But the psalmist says, when I was thirsty, I was rather reminded, not of my natural thirst, but of my spiritual thirst. And I begin to long for God in a dry and thirsty land where there was no water. He said, I begin to search for God. How can you speak to man if you haven't spoken to God? How do you start your day? What is the first thing you do in the morning? You. What do you do? What are you reaching for in the morning and why? What are you looking at first? Is it anything to do with God? Or is it just what's going on in the world around me? What have I missed since I went to bed? You're suffering with FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't want to miss a second. You know every little story. But do you know the stories of Jesus? Do you know the latest update from the kingdom of heaven? Because the word of God is more updated than tomorrow's newspaper. It's more relevant. It addresses current issues. Have you tuned into it? Let your morning start with God. Have time for God. If you set your alarm and you can't wake and your body is not in rhythm, because some of us, we sleep whenever and we wake up whenever. But set your alarm this time around 30 minutes earlier and spend that time with God and get into His presence and say, Lord, my soul thirsts for you. Why? I'm going to stir up my fire inside of you. I'm going to stir my fountain. I want to hear from God before I hear from man. Listen, I'm telling you, not a word of a lie. All of a sudden your year will go better. You will hear the voice of the Spirit saying, this is the way, walk in it. Concerning your dream and your plan, you sit with it there before God. Say, Lord, this is what I'm thinking this year. This is what I want to accomplish. Because many are the plans in the man's heart, but the purpose of the Lord shall prevail.